In this video, we're going to look at how to use the Rising Sun Baptist website. So to start, we'll go to risingsunbaptist.org. We'll add /wp-admin to the end of the URL. This is where you can log into your website. So you'll put in the username and password that have been given to you. If you need help or don't remember your password or lose it or something like that, we can always help reset it if you need access to your site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down through the dashboard and we're going to talk about the different items that are in use on your site and how to utilize them. So we'll just start at the top and work our way down. The first part is this updates button, and under updates are going to be all the plugin updates that you have. So we regularly go through and we update all of the plugins for all of the sites that we host on our servers. So this is done regularly. Obviously there's some that need to be updated here, but you can basically never worry about this if you don't want to. Sometimes if there's an issue with your site, updating the plugin will help to adjust whatever might be going wrong. So you can go in here and update the plugins, and usually that's not going to create an issue. There's not anything you'd have to worry about. So if you do experience some issue, you can go and see if the plugin needs updated, but also, like I said, you don't really need to worry about this updates tab at all if you don't want to. Moving on to posts. This would be if your church ever wanted to start using a blog post function and posting blogs or notes or things like that nature. You can let us know if you ever want to get this set up. It's super simple, very easy to use, and it works basically just like a text editor, like a word processor, like Microsoft Word, or like you'll see when we edit pages moving on. But right now that's not in use, so we're not going to go over that. Like I said, if you want to start using it, please let us know and we'll help accommodate that. Moving on to Accordion Pro. This is a plugin that we have on lots of our sites. It looks like it's in use on your site for the FAQ page, or let's see, maybe you're not using it. I can't remember. Yeah, it looks like this isn't actually in use. This is a simple way to create an accordion. So if you ever see a site that has a drop down and you can see certain things through an accordion function, that's what this is for. But looks like it's not really in use, so we can skip that part as well. Moving on to media. Under media, there is this is where all of your images, PDFs, anything like that that's uploaded to the site is housed, is right here. So you can see your logos, things like that, images on the site. This is all uploaded right here. So you can edit them through here or you can delete them through here. But that anytime you would need to use the media or add it to a page or a post or anything like that, it's always available. So you don't need to go to the media library often, but this is where you can upload things. If you need to add new, you can drag your files here or select, and it'll open up a folder where you can add the files. Moving on to forms. This is in use for your Contact Us form, which is located here at the bottom. So right now you've got these forms set up to, they go to whatever email is listed here. So let's see. Yeah, they're sent to this email right here. So if you ever wanted to change that, you can go to settings, notifications, and change it. You can add an address by adding a comma and then putting the address here. And then you would scroll down and click update notifications. So if you ever need to change that or add an address, this is how you would do that. If you want to view the form entries, you can either click here or you can click here. Goes to the same place. And you can see that we've run a couple tests just to make sure that it's working. And you can view the entries through here. But like I said, they should be in your email inbox. If you ever want to edit the actual form, you would click this edit button here. And you would click on the field and you can change the field label here. You can drag these to rearrange them if you want them to be in a different order. If you want to add a different field or an extra field than what you already have. If you wanted to add a, let's see, some sort of check boxes or buttons or something like that, you can click it and it'll add it to the end, and then you can drag it wherever you'd like it. And then you can click on the item and add the choices for, you could type in, how did you hear about us? From a friend, from the internet, things like that. You can add or subtract items, and then you can edit these through here. You can duplicate the field here, but you don't need any of that on this form. I don't foresee you needing to edit or change a lot of forms if it comes that you want to start having people sign up for events through forms on the website. Basically, you could set that up with a new form and click Add New, and you would give the form a title. You don't need to give it a description unless you want to. You can. And then you'll come here, and it kind of walks you through how to do it. So this is kind of helpful if you need help doing it, but obviously that's what this video is here for as well. So you can add, a single line of text, and then you can say, oh, I want this to be your name. Let's see, we want to do address, phone number. Oh, what if you say, I wanted to add phone number before the address? Well, I can drag it right here, or you can even drag it over here like this. So it goes exactly where you want it instead of the bottom of the form. If you want to duplicate a field, again, that's done through here. And you can edit how this appears. So I don't need to know what country they live in, so I can get rid of that. And then you would just click Update, and then you've got a new form. If you want to preview it to see what it looks like, you can see it here. And this is sort of what it looks like. Obviously, it's going to have, the yellows from your site on it, but it sort of looks like this. So you can make sure it looks all right. So if I go back to forms, I can see that I've got this new form here. So I need to change and make sure that the notification on this form is going where I want it to go. So I go to notifications and I change that out right here. And what else might you need to know about forms? I think that's mainly it. So then I'll show you how to add a form within a page if you do end up creating a page where you need to add a new form. So right now, I'm going to delete this form. If you ever wanted to duplicate the entire form, you've got that option here, or make it unavailable and it's not able to be anywhere on the site. You want to save it for later. It becomes inactive when you hit that. But we just want to get rid of this because it was just a test. So that's done and that will no longer be there. Moving on to pages. This is a big part of your site. This is also where the homepage of your site is located, most of your homepage. You'll see that on your homepage, things in the header, things in the footer are not located, but everything in between are located on this homepage right here. So let's start by looking at the homepage. The first section is going to be this slider right here. So for the slider, all we've got is a shortcode here. That's also going to be down here in Slider Revolution, and that's where we'll edit that. But you've kind of got a slider that was going to stay the same and not really change too much. So you don't need to know a whole lot about it, but we will go over that as well later on. So in these page sections, you can collapse and expand these little sections. So this section is the slider. I'm going to just title that just so it's easy to remember. Then we'll go down to the service times section. So this is where all your service times are located, which is just the very next section right here. So there's a little bit of editing that's done to get the photo in the background. So if you click to background, you can see that there's that image there. We've got this color over it that's overlaid, and we've got this specific color and this specific opacity so that you can kind of see through it and see that image behind it. So if you ever want to reuse this on a different place within the site, you can copy and paste this color code, but probably none of that you're really going to adjust. My guess is the only thing you would really need to adjust here is the text in case, some of these times change at some point. So all that you'd have to do is just click on it and click and type whatever you need to change. And once you make a change, just make sure you hit update and it'll show up on that homepage. So moving on to the next section, and like I said, these each collapse. So the next section is going to be these 3 buttons here. Again, I don't see that these are going to change a whole lot. So right now we have this youth ministry button that doesn't link anywhere because we don't have that youth ministry information located anywhere. So if you'll look, you can see that each word is hyperlinked to a specific page, and right now youth ministry isn't hyperlinked anywhere. So once you have the youth ministry page created, which I'll show you how to do here in just a second, you can copy that URL and click edit, or you can go right here and it's going to pull up all your different pages and you can say, oh, I want it to be linking here, and then click update. But right now we'll just leave it where it is and leave it like so that it doesn't link outside of your site, but it also doesn't confuse people. So on the next section is your Facebook feed. This custom Facebook feed is all done just through, we've already got it set up, and then we've got it added shortcode, and then this button here that links to your Facebook page. So ideally and likely, there's not going to be a lot that's going to change on this section. Again, you have a photo in the background with that little color overlay, and that's all done in the background here. It doesn't stick out too much or matter a whole lot because it's not seen, but it just gives that little bit of pop on the website. So again, if you have questions about this, it's likely better just to ask or email someone on our team, and we can kind of help if something goes wrong here, because there's nothing really to edit. But sometimes things get cached or it doesn't work right, and that can happen. So if that does, just please reach out and we'll help you with it. But not a lot to really say there. So like I said, the footer of the site is located somewhere else, and so we'll talk about that in just a minute. Let's look at the other pages on your site just so you can see how those function. And then, yeah, we don't need to save our changes. I didn't do anything important. So moving on, right now the calendar pages should also just be a short code. So again, we've got that set up. You don't really have to worry too much about that. Once your events are added to your Google Calendar, you don't really have to think about it much more. The sermons page right now is empty, and if you decide you guys want to start posting sermons to the website, that's going to take a little bit of setup. It's not going to be too cumbersome or anything like that, but we would be happy to help with that. So not going to walk you through that in this video, but if you need help with it, just please reach out to us and we'll help you. So let's look at the ministries page. It looks like we don't have anything on this page either. It's just it looks like we're not using it. So that one's not in use, so that's why there's nothing on it. So we'll move to what we believe. On this page, we've got all this great text here. So it works the same way as with the homepage. If you need to edit anything, all you do is you can just type and adjust it however you need. So things can be bolded, italicized, both. You can make things a bulleted list. You can make things a numbered list. You can align them left, center, or right. You can hyperlink to whatever website you want. You can remove the link like that. You can make your font bigger or smaller. And you can insert images from your folder here. And then those can be either aligned to the left or the center. You can change their size so that they fit within a page like that. You can add the form that we just created. So let's say we added that new form. We don't need to display the title of the form or the form description, but we want to have that form, let's say, so this is the short code for the form. Well, we want it to be at the very top of this page we're creating. Let's just, for example, obviously you're not going to do that here, but let's say you did want to do that. Then we'll insert the form. We want to make it sure it's just in paragraph text. We don't need it in that big font. I'm going to click update, and then let's see what we have on the page. There's our form. So obviously we don't need that. So I'm going to get rid of it, but that's just how you add it, is through that little shortcode. You can also copy and paste this shortcode onto whatever page, and that would work as well. So I'm going to go ahead and update this page because we don't want that there. As far as I know, I don't think there's anything particularly complicated on any of your internal pages that you would need to change. It all kind of works that same way. So you've got this edited or this bulleted list here. Yeah, this is all where you would change all of that content. So let's say you need to add a new page to your website. So that can be done through add new here, or you can go to all pages and the add new button is going to be at the top there as well. So add new, and just want to make sure yes, I deleted that. Perfect. So we'll give the page a title, and then you'll want to click add element here, and then you'll click this page group item, and it's going to give you a page group, and that's where you can add those little collapsible sections so that were on the other page. So you just kind of follow the prompt. You don't need to add any more elements. You just continue to add page sections as you go down. So this title here doesn't really matter, but it just helps you kind of know how to adjust it. So you'll type in whatever you want. You can, like I said, bold, italicize, bullet it. Give it a header. And maybe I want to center it. And then I want to add my form. Oh, there we go. That's where I want it. I don't want it bulleted or anything like that. Great. So, like I said, you can give that, you can add the background image with a little bit of color over it. If you want, you just drag to whatever color you want. And then you can adjust how see-through it is here. So let's publish this page and just look at what we've got. I'm sorry, my internet is going so slow right now. So that's why it's taken so long. There we go. Now we can see what we've done, what we've created. Obviously, doesn't look very good. Looks a little scary almost, but I think you'll understand the point. So let me just try to make it look a little better. Okay, so let's see. Let's make it more of a golden, and we'll make it a little less see-through. And let's see, maybe if we make this text white, it'll look a little better. Let's see if I helped it at all or not. And then I can refresh the page and see. Okay, it looks a little better. You see, I made it a little bit darker. And then, yeah. I would probably actually, if I wanted to create this new section, I'd probably not do anything here and just leave it completely clear background, and I wouldn't want this text to be white either. So let's see what that looks like. Much better. That looks a little bit better. And then let's say you want to add another section of information. So we'll say more information. Now let's say this is the section where we want to add a little bit of color. So let's we'll do a little bit of that's not what I wanted. Not there. Oh my, computer's freezing. Stop. The background, I want the image. Let's do that one. Then for the content, we'll make it white text. And then also, let's go to the spacing section here, and I want to make it extra short. Let's do that and see what we've got. Oh, it's just this tiny little piece of this tiny little section. So that's why I made it extra short. It just kind of fits that one little piece there. So obviously this doesn't look very good, but that's just to kind of show you how it all works. And let's say I want to rearrange these sections and I don't like them. I can drag them and rearrange them, or I can delete them. So I'm just going to delete this whole page because we don't need it, because it's not really good for anything. But that's how you edit pages. If you run into a question that you don't know the answer to, and you're making a page and you want to make it look a little better, please let us know. We're happy to help. This is really just to kind of get you rolling and help you as much as we can, but please don't hesitate to reach out with questions. So moving on to comments down here in the dashboard, we've disabled comments on your site. There's nothing really to comment on anyway, so not really important. I don't believe there's any food galleries in place on your site. There's not, but this is a helpful way to add multiple images to a page. It's pretty self-explanatory. You would just add a gallery and then add images, and then there's a short code that you can copy and paste into the page. Testimonials you're not using, that's more for businesses, but we could always help you get that set up if you wanted to. This is a security for your site. Nothing you need to worry about here or look into. Genesis is the theme for your site. Again, nothing you need to look into or really worry about or adjust. The next thing we're going to look through is appearance. This has your widgets and your menus, which are where your header and footer of your site live. So we'll start by looking at widgets, and we can look and see how these headers and footers are put into place. So for the header, you've got your logo here. You can update it through here, and you can update where it links to. So you just click choose an image and it would be there, and you can adjust it, or you can change the link. But right now, obviously, it links to the home page. And then we've got the menu here. Nothing really to change. No sidebars on the site. In your before header, this is where you have all this information. So there's a little bit of styling that's done on the site to make it appear like this. So if you end up needing to change something, basically you'll just want to change the copy, not really the layout anyway. So in any way. So if you want to change the phone number and you need to edit the hyperlink for the phone number, or if you need to edit this, things like that, you would just edit the text right there and not really the format, and that would be fine. Click save and you're done. These aren't really used for anything. The next part that's used is the footer, and this is where you've got your Google Map plugin, but again, nothing that needs to be adjusted here. Google Maps will be adjusted over here. And in the visual editor, this is where you've got your address and that gravity form shortcode we talked about. So if the address, email, phone number needs to be adjusted through here, this would all be done the same way I just showed you, and then click save in the bottom right hand corner. And that's your only footer, and that's all for widgets. There's not a whole lot, but if you did need to update those addresses or anything like that, it'd be done there. Moving on to menus. This is where the menu for your site lives, up here. So basically, if you do decide you want to add some more pages, they're going to show up here when you go to the menu, and you will find the page over here, and you can click it and click add to menu, and then it's going to show up at the bottom. So I can make it a sub menu item. I can rearrange it wherever I want it to go, or I can get rid of it. And then as you make changes, you'll click save menu. If you want to link to an external site, you can do a custom link and give it this will be the URL where it links to, and this will be the title that'll show up in the menu. Click add to menu and it'll link there. Just if you ever need to do that. I mean, obviously not link to Google, but if you want to link to something else, that is how you would do that, and always click save. The other parts, not really important, just really the pages is where you'll probably, if you add more pages and want to add them to the menu, that's how you do that. Next up is plugins. Plugins are what are used to do all these things on your site. And so, like I said, in the update section, you are more than welcome to find plugins and try to add them to your site. It can get a little dicey though. So if you have questions about plugins, again, I would just say shoot us an email, ask us about it, and we'd be happy to let you know what we think, or if we've ever used that plugin, or if there's a good way to utilize it, or a better plugin that does the same thing. Just let us know and we'd be happy to help. Moving on to users, this is where your admin account is at. So right here, if you want to edit your admin account at any point, you can come in here and you can change, mainly I think the only thing you would care about changing is probably your password. So you can either generate a password, or if you click generate password, and then you can type in whatever you want and then just click update user. If you need to create a new user, just click add new. You just have to have an email address for them, and then give them the role of administrator. Copy and paste the password for that individual, and they can have access to your site by going to url/wp-admin. Just always want to be careful. Make sure you create very strong passwords for everyone that you give access to your site, and just be careful who you give access to your site to. Make sure it's someone you trust, and we want to just keep your site secure. Make sure you're taken care of. Moving down the list, there's several things that are here, but we don't really use, or not on a regular basis. Tools, settings, none of that is really used a whole lot on your site. Custom fields, we have SEO, we have meta descriptions on all your pages. Nothing really to see or do with this plugin. None of these either. Facebook feed is what allows that feed on your Facebook to populate. So the settings are customizable through here, but nothing really you need to change it. It'll stay the same and populate. But if something does go wrong with your Facebook feed, let us know and we can always help with that. Foodbox has to do with the food gallery that you are not using. My calendar, again, that's already set up to just populate from your Google Calendar, and there's nothing you really need to do here either. So if something goes wrong with the calendar, again, just let us know and we can look and see what's going on, but you'll never really need to adjust anything here. The next thing is slider revolution. I'm just going to talk about it really briefly. I don't foresee you guys changing out your sliders a whole lot. So let me go. I guess I should go back and show you what I just did. So this is your slider. It's the only one in use on the site. We're going to click that little pencil and we're going to edit it. And so if you ever want to edit the background images here, you can do that by looking at slide options and then the background here and then media library. And I can choose or upload a new image and select that image and insert it. And then I would just click save, or you can click preview. Let's see, we want to do, if you want to look at these other, so under slides up here, you can look at the different slides that you have and change out the backgrounds on any of those. You can duplicate a slide here, delete a slide here, or make it invisible. So this, if you click this, it'll just make it so that it's still there and you can bring it back, but it's just invisible. If you go to this global layers section, this is where you'll find what we've added to your site. So if you ever want to edit this, you would just double click on the item that you would want to edit, and then it pulls it up right here, and I can adjust what is written here. So you can adjust the text and then click save if you ever want to adjust it. You can also play with like the style, the size, the font color, things like that. And you can always, what I like to do is, if I'm trying to figure out what I want on a slider, duplicate a slide, and then I've got a second, slide here that looks like one I've already got, so I can mess around with it, and I'll just make it invisible. And so now I can kind of see what I want to do. So on this global layer, this is on every single slide. So you can make it invisible on certain slides and then have different content on that one particular slide. But again, I don't foresee that really being a huge need for you guys. I think just so you know how to edit the text will probably be enough as you guys, move forward and edit and update your site. But again, like with everything else, just let us know if we can help or if you have questions. So let's go back to the main dashboard, and Site Revolution. WordFence just keeps your site safe. Google Maps is here if you do need to adjust your location. You can go to add location or manage locations, and you can adjust them here, and you just would type in the new address. So again, I'm not seeing that that's likely that you guys will need to do that, but if you ever did need to, that's where it's located. So that's the main things on the site. It's a pretty, straightforward set of things. So if you run into questions along the way and you need help with anything, please reach out to us. Let us know, and we're happy to help and assist in whatever way. But hopefully this video can just get you started and get you a running start on making those adjustments that you want to.